A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the best movies that met and exceeded audience expectations.
And here we go.
Number 20, Black Panther.
Just don't freeze when you see her.
What are you talking about? I never freeze.
By 2018, the MCU was already well underway. The first Iron Man movie was 10 years old, and the Avengers was turning 6. But there was still room for more heroes, and that's where Black Panther comes in. Plans for a Black Panther film had been in development since the early 90s, and the movie carried a number of important cultural mantles, like being the first MCU film with a predominantly black cast. Furthermore, director Ryan Coogler had several acclaimed films under his belt, so people knew the movie was going to be great. And luckily, it was, with many critics calling it the best film in the MCU.
Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever!
Number 19, Titanic.
I'm the king of the world!
The hype around James Cameron's Titanic was as vast as the ocean itself. Its immense hype was fueled by Cameron's reputation as a master storyteller, his technical wizardry with visual effects, and of course, the legacy of the Titanic itself. The movie's emotional resonance, combined with Cameron's astounding filmmaking, helped make it a global phenomenon. Titanic turned in just shy of $2 billion in its first theatrical run, and accumulated 11 Academy Awards, tying it for the most ever. It's now considered a landmark movie and is preserved in the Library of Congress. Just another day at the office for Mr. Cameron.
I will never let go, Jack. I'll never let go.
Number 18, Blade Runner 2049.
How's it feel? Killing your own kind. I don't retire my own kind because we don't run.
One question was at the forefront of everyone's mind. Would a sequel to Blade Runner still work 35 years after the fact? Short answer, yes. And it was way better than anyone could have possibly imagined. The first Blade Runner has long been considered one of the best sci-fi films ever made, and this sequel had a lot going for it in pre-release. That includes the involvement of Ryan Gosling, the return of Harrison Ford as Deckard, and director Denis Villeneuve fresh off acclaimed films like Sicario and Arrival. Blade Runner 2049 was yet another notch in his ever-growing belt, receiving praise for its visual effects, thoughtful themes, and Roger Deakins' Oscar-winning cinematography.
I'm only 2. 1 and 0.
Half as much, but twice as elegant, sweetheart.
Number 17, The Lego Movie. While some dismissed the film as a blatant cash grab, others saw a great potential for success.
Park between the lines. Yes! Drop off dry cleaning before noon. Read the headlines. Don't forget to smile. Always root for the local sports team. Go sports team!
Lego has been around for decades, and billions of people around the world were raised on its endless possibilities. We didn't know how a Lego movie would work, we just knew it would. Like one of your many masterpieces, it built itself up brick by brick with clever humor, a heartfelt story, and an innovative animation style modeled after real Lego physics. Audiences were enamored with the film's witty dialogue and surprisingly profound narrative about creativity, landing it on many Best of the Year lists. We knew the movie would be good. We didn't know it would be that good.
Hey guys, I think we're about to crash into the sun.
Yeah, but it's gonna look really cool.
Number 16, The Matrix. In 1999, The Matrix bullet dodged its way into the pop culture zeitgeist, despite audiences not having the faintest idea of what they were walking into.
I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
Much like Neo, they wanted to learn the truth, with the tantalizing trailers offering little in the way of information, but promising a fictional world unlike anything we had seen before. What is The Matrix? Millions wanted to know, and unlike Neo, they were more than satisfied with the answers. The film's cutting-edge effects and breathtaking action sequences were revolutionary for the time, and the story explored themes of reality, identity, and free will, all of which resonated with audiences. The Matrix became a global phenomenon, all thanks to a brilliant imagination and some genius marketing. Number 15. Barbie. At a time when movies are struggling at the box office, here comes Barbie to show everyone that yes, they can still make major money.
Do you guys ever think about dying?
The hype behind Barbie was simply unreal, with the Barbenheimer phenomenon taking the internet by storm throughout much of 2023. While Barbie could have easily been a mindless cash grab, Greta Gerwig turned it into a hilarious and often thoughtful introspection on identity, feminism, and existentialism.
I wanna know what it's like to love, to be the real thing. Is it a crime? Am I not hot when I'm in my feelings?
Audiences couldn't get enough, and Barbie absolutely dominated the 2023 box office with a global taking of $1.4 billion. Between this and Oppenheimer winning Best Picture, we'd say the Barbenheimer hype train more than paid off. Sublime! Number 14. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. For people who weren't there, it's impossible to state just how huge Harry Potter was at its peak.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
The book series was absolutely enormous, a cultural juggernaut that was already 4 novels deep by the time The Philosopher's Stone reached theaters in 2001. Fans eagerly wanted to see this magical world and its many colorful inhabitants brought to life. Luckily, the film faithfully recreated the beloved novel, capturing the wonder and magic of Hogwarts and containing a pitch-perfect cast that embodied the characters with an almost eerie perfection. It not only further cemented the sensation that was Harry Potter, it also proved that none of the magic would be lost in the transition from page to screen.
I'm not going home. Not really.
Number 13. Dune and Dune Part 2.
My planet Arrakis is so beautiful when the sun is low. Rolling over the sands, you can see spice in the air.
Frank Herbert's Dune is considered a seminal work in the science fiction genre, and while it has a legion of fans, adapting it for the screen was no small feat. Just ask David Lynch. But our old friend Denis Villeneuve took a shot, and the status of his films grew bigger than a sandworm. The first movie was a huge success, receiving great reviews and grossing over $400 million at the height of COVID. Its success further bolstered the hype that Part 2 handily exceeded. The praise was near unanimous, with many people calling it a modern masterpiece.
It's coming. I see a holy war spreading across the universe like unquenchable fire. A warrior religion that waves the Atreides banner in my father's name. Fanatical legions worshipping at the shrine of my father's skull. A war in my name!
That includes Steven Spielberg, who referred to Part 2 as, quote, one of the most brilliant science fiction films he has ever seen. Number 12. Top Gun Maverick.
Mach 10? Let's give Mach 10.
The first Top Gun was awesome. Tom Cruise movies are awesome. Jets and explosions are awesome. So what wasn't to love about Top Gun Maverick? This movie is a legacy sequel of sorts, with Cruise training a young group of up-and-comers played by up-and-comers like Miles Teller and Glenn Powell. The film was everything we wished it would be and more. Cruise insisted that it was played in theaters, and we're glad he did.
What is that?
It's one of life's mysteries, sir.
This isn't a joke.
It was an old-school theatrical experience with heart, humor, and blockbuster entertainment. And it became Cruise's most successful movie ever with a gross of nearly $1.5 billion. Talk about hitting your target. Number 11. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Swinging onto screens in 2018 was the first full-length animated film in the Spider-Man franchise. And what hype that distinction brought. Spider-Man is obviously a huge character, and setting expectations even higher was the involvement of Phil Lord, who is responsible for some of the most highly acclaimed comedies of the 2010s. Needless to say, the film exceeded all expectations. Audiences were blown away by its innovative animation that brought comic book panels to life while introducing multiple versions of Spider-Man from different dimensions.
Miles, the hardest thing about this job is you can't always save everybody.
This gimmick would later be brought to the live-action sphere with No Way Home. The film was also praised for its heart, humor, and cultural representation, resulting in a film that appealed to both comic book enthusiasts and general audiences alike.
Like, what's up, danger? Like, what's up, danger?
Number 10. The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
Must I do?
You must leave. And leave quickly.
The Lord of the Rings is a seminal fantasy book series whose story was considered impossible to film throughout most of the 20th century, despite an animated attempt. Not only that, but the trailers for this movie aired just when the internet's hype machine was beginning to take shape. However, Fellowship more than exceeded expectations thanks to revolutionary effects, gorgeous scenery, a soaring score, spectacular acting, amazing set pieces, surprisingly good pacing for such a long film, and much more.
If you want him, come and claim him.
The movie, and eventually the trilogy, managed to please hardcore fans and general audiences alike, while becoming a landmark of filmmaking in general, and ultimately, the fantasy film to rule them all.
Shall not pass!
Number 9. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Speaking of groundbreaking and influential films, the second Terminator movie set the standard in several areas, like its impressive computer-generated effects, as well as its impact on the movie industry, influencing Hollywood's emphasis on sequels. T2 itself is a phenomenal film, doing everything its predecessor did, but bigger and, more importantly, better. The action scenes are thrilling and explosive, but the characters also have greater depth.
But everything she said was true.
Meanwhile, the thematic elements like the horrors of nuclear Armageddon are also well executed. So few sequels can even equal the original, but Terminator 2 surpassed it and fan expectations with gusto. Number 8. Inception.
We're dreaming? You're actually in the middle of the workshop right now, sleeping. This is your first lesson in shared dreaming.
The legendary trailer for this mind-bending film had everyone excited to see if Christopher Nolan could deliver on the promise it displayed. As it turned out, Inception was indeed worthy of its reputation. Its inventive take on the much-used sci-fi concept of entering people's dreams is well developed, and its layered plot and settings make it worthy of watching several times.
You're not real.
I'm a projection of your subconscious.
The visuals are still spectacular today, and the strong central character is highly compelling, even if a few of the side characters are a little underutilized. Overall, it's a film that gives us a lot of boom for our buck, so to speak. Number 7. Mad Max Fury Road.
You want to get through this? Do as I say.
Fans had not seen anything from director George Miller's gritty, post-apocalyptic desert series for decades when Fury Road came on the scene, so expectations were high for this high-octane film. Thankfully, it stepped on the gas and never let up, featuring scene after scene of breathtaking practical stunts in action, along with beautifully bleak scenery and a compelling, if simple, story.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Not only did Fury Road deliver on the hype, it also had us eagerly awaiting the day when we can return to Mad Max's insane thrill ride of a world once again, which ultimately came in 2024. Number 6. Logan.
As I live and breathe, the Wolverine.
When news broke that Logan was supposed to be Hugh Jackman's final film as Wolverine, though we all know that's no longer true, we all hoped that he would go out on top, and boy did he pull it off. Logan follows an older, more grizzled and defeated Wolverine as he's pulled into one last adventure that sees him try to help a young mutant reach her friends. The story borrows elements from westerns and features plenty of bloody action, standout performances from all the leads, as well as some truly heartbreaking moments.
You have nightmares.
See. People hurt me.
One of the X-Men franchise's greatest strengths has been its diverse cast of characters, but this personal story about just one may be its best.
I don't know how you got me here, but thank you.
De nada.
Yeah.
Number 5. Toy Story 3.
Andy threw us out.
Like we were garbage. Junk. He called us junk.
How could he?
After two universally acclaimed animated masterpieces, the standard of Toy Story movies had been set almost unrealistically high when its third installment came around. However, Toy Story 3 managed to deliver a funny, heartfelt send-off to the franchise. Or what we thought was a send-off at the time.
You guarantee it, huh?
I don't know, Buzz.
What else can I say?
It's about the toys' attempts to return to their owner Andy, despite his having outgrown them. Although we're thrilled that Woody, Buzz, and the rest of the gang are coming back again, we would have been perfectly content if this had been their final adventure.
Where have I been?
Beyond infinity, Space Ranger.
Woody!
Number 4. The Avengers.
Let me put you on hold.
Though the Marvel Cinematic Universe has seen plenty of hyped movies in its roster since this film, like Captain America Civil War, the first Avengers movie takes the cake. The MCU had been building up smaller connections between its standalone movies, but the Avengers was its first big crossover event, and the anticipation was huge.
Stark, we need a plan of attack!
I have a plan. Attack.
However, the film surpassed our expectations and featured a fun, thrilling, and endlessly watchable story that united the mightiest heroes in a fashion that pleased casual audiences, critics, and comic book fans alike, while breaking box office records in the process.
What have I to fear? The Avengers.
And after years of build-up, the franchise concluded wonderfully with the long-anticipated Avengers Endgame.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Number 3. Jurassic Park.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Universal, the company that distributed this film, put out an impressive pre-game marketing campaign for Jurassic Park, with dozens of products plastered with its logo. The film also had to live up to the desires of kids and kids at heart to see amazing dinosaurs realized on screen. Jurassic Park, like life itself, found a way.
What species is this? It's a velociraptor.
Featuring compelling characters, a stirring soundtrack, unforgettable sequences, and effects that still hold up today, Jurassic Park is pure blockbuster magic, brought to us by the master of it, Steven Spielberg.
Clever girl.
Number 2. Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens.
Chewie. We're home.
Pleasing Star Wars fans can be tricky, to say the least. The franchise is among the most beloved in all of pop culture, and its juggernaut of a hype train has let us down on some occasions. However, the 7th main film of the franchise managed to move the story forward with new, interesting characters, while featuring returning favorites who got their time to shine again, as well as the series' signature sci-fi action.
Go straight at him! Don't let these thugs scare you!
Though some have criticized its similarities to prior films, sometimes the best way to satisfy people is to give them something familiar.
The galaxy is counting on us. Solo, we'll figure it out. We'll use the Force. That's not how the Force works.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Dark Knight.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
A legendarily memorable trailer and Heath Ledger's untimely death sent the hype for this follow-up to the already excellent Batman Begins into overdrive, to the point where we were sure that Batman and the Joker's battle for Gotham's soul was gonna be amazing.
Have all these rules, and you think they'll save?
The Dark Knight surpassed our hype to become something else entirely, conveying an epic battle of ideologies in a supremely entertaining superhero movie. All of this is helped by gripping action, great performances, and scene after scene of iconic moments and lines that have left their mark on pop culture forever.
You're the one pointing the gun, Harvey. So point it at the people responsible. Fair enough.
Which movie exceeded your expectations? Let us know in the comments below.
After careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park.
So have I.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.